practice week look like?
Yeah, we're taking it day to day. He's going to sit today, and then we'll reassess tomorrow and see how he's feeling.
Quarterback reps in his absence.
I think right now it'll be Boyle, but certainly Blau's going to get some reps too. So we'll just, those guys got to be ready to go, and then if Jared can go, he'll go.
Boyle was back last week, I think, for the first time. How'd that go? How's he feeling? How'd he look?
Good. He looked good. Worked his way back in there. There again, it was scout team is what he was doing. So, but he looked good. I mean, he looked comfortable and he's throwing it well, and you can tell he's. The finger looks like it's good. He's recovered.
How much are you? I guess do you have to measure reps in general over this stretch here with 2 physical games and then the Thursday Thanksgiving game?
It's a thought, but I think more importantly, it's like we have to use every resource and that we have and do everything that we need to prepare to beat this team. And so yes, but no, because I think if we worry too much about 2 games in 10 days, then we won't have enough focus on this opponent right now. We have to find a way to be competitive and try to pull out a victory here at Cleveland. So to me, that's the sole focus. We'll worry about next week.
One other thing on Jared, the oblique injuries, like for baseball players, right? Sometimes those things are like 6 weeks, 2 months type injuries. For him, for a quarterback, is it pain management? Is there something he can't do? How does that impact?
Yeah, well, I think some of there's pain management to it, and then some of it'll just be, if we can get it to calm down a little bit to where it's more manageable, where he feels like he can step into the throw, and really, put a lot of zing on it. So I think it's twofold. It is the pain, but it's also, yes, calming it down to where the pain doesn't affect the torque that you're trying to put on the trunk. So I think that's, as fast as we can get it to calm down, better he'll be.
Now that you've seen him for a few days on the practice field, maybe got a little bit more chance to look at his old tape. What can Josh Reynolds do for the offense on a whole in terms of maybe some spacing?
Yeah, well, look, he's a long linear guy. He has length, he's got speed, and he's kind of a build to speed guy. But you see when he can get a step into his route. He's pretty good, and he's pretty fluid downfield. Tracks the ball pretty well, and. So I think he can help us in some of our, maybe one-on-one matchups. Give a ball out there and let him go attack a corner, one-on-one. So that's kind of how we'll try to use him a little bit as well. But we also want to be smart. I mean, we don't throw him to the wolves either. But he's certainly going. We'll get him in, get him going.
Riley as well. Can you kind of talk about why that was important as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, we just. Sometimes you don't know what's going to happen until you get put in a situation like that, high stress, pressure, and so we just felt like we needed to make it and give another guy a chance, and I just think it's important. That's all. It's kind of hate it for him, but at the same time, that's the nature of this business. Sometimes you only get 2 chances, and you got to perform if that's your job description. So give this guy a go. We like him. He's young, and we liked him coming out, and see how he does.
What about the way Amani's made some plays for you lately? Has he kind of played better and better, kind of getting the grasp of things?
Yeah, there again, he's kind of our graybeard back there. He's not old, but he's got the most experience of anybody we got back there, and he's been playing. He's been playing solid back there. He's been doing a good job, and I bring it up again. I mean, even on the one the other day where it was the penalty. That ball was right in his arms. By the way, it turns, gets knocked down, and ends up. I mean, the ball finds him, and there's something to that. But I think he really has elevated his game, and I love the way he played with confidence the other day. I mean, he was up there, he was competitive, he was in their face. The early penalty didn't affect him. He went right back to work, and I appreciated that. That's what you're looking for.
Just one other thing, you mentioned about getting ready for 2 games at once. The fact that you played the Bears already, does that take some of that away? Would you go at least a little bit of a line?
It helps a little bit because you're familiar, but they're familiar with you too. But it does, just from a game plan standpoint. We know what they run. We have an idea of some things that work against them. We've seen their structured defense now for for a while. I mean, hell, our defense is that structure, so so it helps. And then having faced them, our defense one time with Fields, and now having some good tape to watch, you know, I think it does help.
Just sort of building off the Monty discussion, I'm sure when you were trying to convince Aubrey Pleasant to come here, the pitch wasn't, you're going to have to start 2 undrafted guys the entire year and play with all these injuries, but what have you seen from him that has helped that unit play as well as it has, and just any growth you've seen from him as a coach this year?
Yeah, no, look, AP's been great, you know, and it was one of the reasons that we wanted him here. He's always been able to develop young talent. And you know, I brought it up when we hired him. He's developed a lot of young talent, guys that nobody's ever heard of. But then he's also been able to take some of these really elite guys like Ramsey and you know, Talib and those guys, and get some of the most productive years out of those guys as well. So he understands personalities. He knows how to teach. He can reach all different walks of life with those guys in there, man. He keeps it interesting, engaging, and he's high energy, he's passionate. And so, look, I think that is a credit to him. He and AG both, but I mean, when you go through the number of cornerbacks we've been through, it's no different than watching Gilbert go out there the other day. I mean, Gilbert was not afraid. Gilbert was going in there to compete, and I think that's, you know, it says a lot. I mean, all those guys have gone in there and mixed it up, from Bobby to Jerry to Iffy, you know, to Gilbert. I mean, so that's a credit to him.
You mentioned Gilbert there. I asked you about it a couple weeks ago before you played it down. It seemed like Pittsburgh went right after him.
Oh, yeah.
And he responded well. So what have you seen about him as a performer beyond the attitude?
Well, I mean, look, there again, I just bring up, so much of it is when we got him a few weeks ago, you know, you look at the movement skills, you look at kind of the attributes he has to play the position, you're like, okay, you know, this guy's played corner. It's a little different than when Bobby, Bobby just come from safety, and so Bobby's got a lot of talent, but he doesn't have experience playing outside. Well, this guy, he looks like a corner, plays like a corner, he's done it. And so you love the potential. Now it's just, okay, how does he respond when he gets thrown to the wolves? And that was our first taste of it, and I thought he responded nicely. It was like, well, they're going after him, but he's also like, I know you. And I know exactly what you were going to try to do to me. And, man, I mean, honestly, that's what you're looking for. You want to know a guy's going to go in there and not play scared. Like, he's just, hey, you may get me, but every play it's going to be hard. And those are the things sometimes you don't know until you put them in those situations. So that's a good sign.
No, do you have some ball away and to come back and punch the ball away? I mean, after he got beat right.
Absolutely, that's a huge play. I mean, you know, you could go in the tank and it's over, and I'm jogging around, but him to catch back up and punch that out. I mean, that look there again. That's one of the reasons why we did not lose this game. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. On Sunday, we saw DeAndre's carries go over 30. What's your comfort level now moving forward, as you've seen him recover now the last couple of days, with giving him more carries?
Yeah, 50. No, it was good. You know, it was good for him to get that. I don't think you typically see or think that way with him, but it was good that he got a load, because I think, look, here's what sometimes gets lost, and we got to remember it as a staff. He's a second-year player that didn't play very much last year. He's still learning. I mean, he'll be the first to tell you, there's runs on that tape where there's so much meat on the bone that's left. As good of the, you know, I mean, he could have had even more than he had, and he knows that. But yet the growth that you saw in his vision and being able to read these plays and then do what he does once he's able to break a tackle or get in space, you know, that's all him. But I don't think you typically, that wouldn't be the first thing I would think is, you know, he's going to get 30, 35 carries. You know, a lot of that we thought Jamar was going to help, and we were, you know, those guys were going to share the load a little bit. And well, it didn't work out when Jamar went down, and then Swift's hot, and it's hard to take out a hot hand, you know. He's good. He's good, yeah. I mean, we'll limit him a little bit, but he's good.
Corey, last one.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you about C.J. Elliott and C.J. Moore and Jay Elliott.
Yeah. Today
is the Founders Day of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, and both of them are members, and that organization stands for manhood, perseverance, scholarship, and uplift. What does it mean to you for the locker room that you're trying to build to have guys that represent those core values?
It means a ton, and those two guys that there's a number of guys that I would point out. Those two guys, hell, Godwin's another one. These guys, you talk about guys that do everything right. They come into work, man. They don't have a bad day. They got a smile on their face. They listen. They work. They're competitive, and man, they're unbelievable human beings. You know, they'll do anything they can to help the person next to them or help somebody that is in need. So, I mean, you would love to have a team full of those guys, you know, and so I'm glad we got them, and it does. It means a ton, because that's ultimately that's the type of culture we're trying to build. When you talk about it, you know, and where does it come from? It comes from people. It comes from good people. And so, how do you find the most productive players you can that carry those values? Man, you get that, and now the sky's the limit. Okay. Yep.